Hello and welcome to Marathon Recon, a mile-by-mile preview of the 2018 LA Marathon. Today we're running mile 11. I'm Martise Moore, the Run Faster coach, and I have the privilege of running with Eric today.
Hello.
Eric is with the Institute for Myeloma and Bone Cancer Research, so he's running for that charity, and we're going to find out more about that. He's also a veteran LA Marathon runner, so we're going to get the scoop on what mile 11 is like from him. So let's get started. All right. So right now we're starting out on mile 11, and it's still pretty flat here. We're on Hollywood Boulevard, and we're about to cross the 101 freeway. So Eric,
Yes.
tell us what this mile is like. How's your body feeling, and what are your thoughts at mile? Well, we just passed 10, so we're going to be finishing at 11.
Yes. So usually at this point, at least for me, depending on how much training I've done, I'm feeling pretty good. At this mileage, my body's already used to the movements, and I feel pretty good at this point.
Okay, cool. So you're almost at the halfway mark here, so it's pretty flat, so you're also just feeling pretty good, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if this is your fourth, is this your fourth LA Marathon?
Fourth or fifth, I can't recall exactly.
Okay, all right. Do you have a specific goal this year?
Well, the goal this year, I've been occupied with work, obviously for the charity that I work for, and I haven't trained as much as I should. I do train every weekend, but not putting in the normal mileage. So the goal is to complete it without getting injured. That's my top priority.
All right, that's a good goal. Cool, but being very familiar with it is helpful from a mental standpoint, right? Because you know what to expect.
Yes, exactly. So I am familiar with the route in general and what to expect, and the temperature is also pretty constant. It's never fluctuated that much.
Okay.
So yeah.
So you've run it in the years that it's been hot?
Yes, I have. One year it was very hot.
Okay. And how did you handle that? How did you get through that?
Wow, it was just a matter of listening to your body. When your body says, hey, take a break, walk, hydrate a little bit, just be cautious of what your body's telling you. I don't push myself to the extreme. There's nothing for me to prove. I just want to complete it, do it for a good cause, and yeah, finish it.
Okay, we're passing the famous Tommy's Burger right here. That's pretty cool. All right, so you're actually running for a charity, like you said, that you work for.
Yes.
Can you tell us what they do and how we can help further your cause?
Sure. So the Institute for Myeloma and Bone Cancer Research is located in West Hollywood. Dr. James R. Berenson is my boss. He established the nonprofit institute, the only nonprofit myeloma institute in the country. And we do research on myeloma, which is a plasma cell cancer of the bone marrow.
Okay.
And it mostly affects elderly, and it's more common than in the Jewish and African American population.
Okay.
Than other individuals. And you could find us online, imbcr.org, or also Dr. Berenson has his clinic, his myeloma clinic, where he sees patients with multiple myeloma on a daily basis. So he's actually an active physician, and he treats patients, and he also has the research lab, which recently we've made quite a a few significant discoveries in our lab.
Good. Like what?
So, for example, we came across this cell surface marker called BCMA, or B cell maturation antigen. And we found that this protein is shed in the blood of these patients. So you could use it to track their response to therapy. And also for diagnosis. But importantly, you want to see whether or not they're responding to their anti-cancer treatment. This marker allows you to do that. There's already a marker for myeloma, but we believe this marker is better than the conventional marker in that it has a short blood half-life. And because of that...
What does that mean?
Well, so for example, let's say the conventional marker, the half-life, when you have it in your body, it takes 21 days for half of it to be eliminated from your blood. So if you're getting an anti-cancer treatment and this conventional marker, you don't know until day 21, for example, whether or not the treatment is working and your cancer level is going down, or whether the treatment is not working and your cancer is growing in your body. Well, this marker, BCMA, has a half-life of about 24 to 36 hours. And you're able to know within that time frame, 36 hours, whether or not you're responding to therapy.
All right, so we're gonna cross the street, even though you just get to keep straight on this mile, but they closed off the sidewalk on this side, so we're crossing here. All right, so that's interesting. Have you actually been using what you discovered on new patients?
Well, okay, this is the thing, is that it's kind of tough in that even though this is a significant discovery that we know in the future is going to help a lot of myeloma patients, and it's, in my opinion, it's going to be used by physicians worldwide because of its superior readout. But you have to follow FDA guidelines and the law, and the test that we use is not approved yet. So
how long does that usually take?
Well, we're working on making our own antibody and our own kit and getting it FDA approved. So that people could send us samples and we could tell them within 36 hours after they start treatment whether or not they're going to continue to respond to treatment or not. If they're not going to continue to respond to treatment, what the doctor wants to do is change treatment immediately so that this patient could receive therapies that are going to work. And the patient also wants something that's going to work. They don't want to wait 21 days to a month. They'd rather know right away. And if the drugs aren't working, they want to change drugs, give them something that works. So right now we've developed, or my boss has developed a company, and we hope to eventually make this kit, get it FDA approved. That way we could start doing it officially. Because right now, this research kit that we're using, we cannot make a decision, even though we already know whether the patient's responding or not. We can't do that because it's not FDA approved, and obviously for liability issues, we don't want to get sued. But I would say would take 5 years. I'm
wow,
no expert.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not an expert in how long it takes to make a kit and get it FDA approved. By no means am I in that area. But I would imagine, based on making an antibody, monoclonal antibody, that's approximately the time frame.
Right, because your expertise is just the actual research, not the other business side of it. Got it.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, what made you want to get into this line of work?
Well, I went to Cal Berkeley, go Bears, and I love science. I grew up in South Central LA, and I had a very good science teacher, Mr. Renfro. I always loved science. Went to Berkeley, knew that I wanted to get a science degree. Once I graduated with my science degree, I wanted to do basic lab research because that's where discoveries are made. Discoveries are made in the lab. You know, when you work in an office or a company, you have to follow guidelines.
Right.
You cannot deviate from those guidelines. You do what you're told. Well, in the lab, you have the opportunity to make discoveries.
Okay.
Like that whole BCMA story.
Right.
Just based on the literature, I ended up reading articles that suggested that this marker would suppress the immune system. So I asked my superiors, Dr. Berenson and Dr. Chen, if I could do a pilot experiment to see if when I injected BCMA into a living system, whether or not it would suppress the immune system.
Right.
And sure enough, it did.
Okay.
So that's another thing about this marker is that you can use it to track response to therapy or the lack of response to therapy.
Right.
And also we know that it suppresses your immune system. So that's a big thing. So now we're telling companies, hey, look, you know, you can use it to track response to therapy if the kid's out there, but also we're telling them that it suppresses the patient's immune system. So if companies, pharmaceutical companies, could make these peptide inhibitors or some kind of inhibitor that either binds to BCMA or binds to BAF, another protein, which is B cell activating factor, then we believe the patient's immune system would be more normal. We're not saying completely normal, but it'll give the patient a fighting chance for their immune system to help fight the cancer.
Okay. All right, as you guys can see that we're on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. You can see the stars behind us. So we're in the thick of Hollywood right now, which is pretty cool. One of the highlights of the course. We're coming close to the end of this mile. So it sounds like you're doing really important work, and definitely want to thank you for that, because cancer is something we just need to eradicate for everyone. So I want to thank you for taking on this challenge and actually saving the world. So we want to give money towards this cause to help you further your research and help find a cure. Are you raising a certain amount of money this year?
Well, yeah, each runner, we've committed to raise a certain amount of money for our cause.
Okay.
And
what did you commit to?
$1,000.
All right, okay. So we're going to put up Eric's link to his donation page so we can help him meet his goal and help eradicate this horrible disease. And yeah, that would be great. We could really help further this cause, because I think a lot of us, we give to cancer a lot and we just don't know where the money goes. So that's great that you're telling us, you know, what actually happens and how you guys find cures or ways to prolong people's lives, because I definitely didn't know what you were just telling us earlier. So that's pretty cool.
My pleasure. You know, we certainly do you know, good things in our lab. We're a non-profit. We have a very small administration and a larger ratio of actual scientists than administration. And yeah, it's definitely a good cause.
Okay, all right, well, we've reached the end of mile 11. I want to thank my special guest, Eric. Eric, please leave us with some words of wisdom, since you've run this marathon so many times. Like, what would you tell a person who's running it for the first time? Like, what's some advice you would give them?
Advice is do not concern yourself with how other people are doing, how fast they're passing you. So for example, at mile 13, that's where some people begin the race.
Okay.
And some, you know, people are running the full marathon. So you'll see little children zooming by you. And do not concern yourself.
Don't take that personal.
Yes, exactly. It's not that you didn't train. It's that they started at a later mile.
All right.
Listen to your body. Don't push yourself. Don't hurt yourself. And you'll complete it. As long as you listen to your body, hydrate, not too much, and you'll be good.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. And again, thank you for the work that you're doing to help save humanity.
Thank you.
So, if anyone has any questions on Mile 11 or any other aspect of the LA Marathon race, please go to greenrunnerla.com. And until next time, keep running, everybody.
Bye.